Hello everybody, good evening and happy Wednesday. Welcome to your weekly Wednesday live crafting show. I'm Zara Premji, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario, Canada. And I am just going to take a few moments to get this pulled up on my computer and give some of you a chance to perhaps find this in your Facebook feeds so you can join me live and we can craft together. As you're jumping on, please do say hello. I love to hear from you. I love to hear where you're watching from, and just to have chit chat and engage with all of you. So just yeah, please do comment. I do like to upload these videos to YouTube, so if you are watching from my YouTube channel, this obviously isn't live, but thank you for joining and watching. And if you like what you see, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe below. I'm hoping to actually do more videos and upload them to YouTube, even outside of my Facebook Lives, but I do appreciate you being here and watching. So let's see, I always start with a little bit of chatter because I feel like I have like so many stories and things that I want to share, and then when I do my Facebook Live, I'm like with friends and it feels like it's a chance to not unload, but just, you know, chat with other adults, and then we get to the crafting. So tonight we're going to be making a super cute card. I'll tell you the story behind it. So, well, there's a couple of stories I'm going to tell you today. The first one is that this morning I woke up early. I always wake up early because I like to get a little bit of work done and get a workout and some crafting in sometimes before my day starts. And this morning I was sitting at my desk and I was doing a little bit of, I can't even remember, I was doing some computer work. And it was about 6:30 in the morning, and then all of a sudden I turned to get something and I tweaked something badly in my neck. And it's been bothering me all day. So like if I do at any point this evening have to turn to get something, you'll see I probably have to turn my whole body because it's really hard to turn my neck. And so the irony of this is that I'm actually an occupational therapist by profession. And one of the placements that I had done when I was in occupational therapy school, when I was doing the program, was an ergonomics placement, where basically the entire placement I was focused on good biomechanics and positioning, and talked a lot, so I was with I think I was doing it in Thunder Bay, and I was with the city of Thunder Bay. That's where I was doing my placement. And so I was providing consultation to various employees about how they could change their workstations so that they were ergonomically better set up for them. And one of the things that we talked about was having, like, raising their computer screen so that it was at eye level, and then making sure that their arms were in a neutral position when they were typing and that sort of thing. And what I realized this morning is that I've spent so much time at my desk either working on my computer or crafting, and I'm always in this position where I'm like looking down. So I'm actually not taking my own advice, so do as I say, not as I do, but that I'm paying for it today because I have this horrible kink in my neck that I cannot get rid of. So anyways, that's part of the story. And so as a result, my project today is actually going to be a project that's inspired by something in the catalog, because I was in so much pain that the creative juices were not flowing. And actually the card that I'm making, I think, is super cute from the catalog. But anyway, the person I'm making this card for is a friend of mine who, oh, thank you. Yeah, Heather, it's awful. And I'm paying the price. But actually, before I go on to tell you a little bit about my card, this is also an opportunity for me to just tell those of you that spend a lot of time at your desks. And I mean, a lot of us are at computers these days, at home, at our desks, very little movement throughout the day. If you're a crafter like me, in addition to working, you're probably spending a lot of time at your craft table with your head down like this. And so it's super important to be aware of your neck and your back positioning, because repetitive strain injuries are a real thing, and you don't even realize that the actual toll it's taking on your body until, of course, you just move your body in one weird way, and then everything is suddenly you know, you regret it. So anyway, that's just, I'll get off my soapbox soon, but just be really mindful of your positioning. If you can bring everything up to, you know, a neutral level where you don't have to have your neck tilted down all the time, that's super important. And take breaks and stretch and all of the things that I haven't been doing, which I'm going to start because I was in a lot of pain today. So I do sometimes just do this stretch where I'll just tilt my head to the side and put a little bit of gentle pressure. This is going to end up being crafting. Like, I'm not going to be doing like yoga or stretching or whatever, but just something to keep in mind because I think it prolongs the amount of time that we're able to sit for crafting. So just every now and then give your neck a stretch, your back a stretch, all the good things. Okay, so the story that I'm about to tell you is a friend of mine. Her son, she just found out that he actually has to go in for heart surgery next week. And he's young. He's just a little bit older than my daughter Amelia, who's 7. And so my heart has been aching for her all day because, you know, any of us that are parents, or even if we have nieces, grandchildren, you know the pain that you feel when your child or grandchild or niece or nephew is in any pain or you're worried about them. So I've been thinking about her all day. She shared this with me today. And so I wanted to make her a cute card, and I'm using Kangaroo Company. And so I'm making her a cute card, and it's just a little, hopefully will bring a little ray of sunshine to her day and just bring a smile to her face. But it's a case from the catalog. And that's actually the other thing that I want to share is that when you are finding that the creative juices are not flowing, our catalogs are an incredibly great resource of inspiration and ideas and projects that you can literally copy right out of the pages. So just keep that in mind if you're feeling like you have a creative block or you're new to stamping and you're not really sure how to design or where to start. Looking at the catalog is always a good place to start. I'm going to flip the camera down. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some awesome promotions. I'm going to share with you some cute cards that I've been receiving in the mail, and then we will get started with the crafting. Okay, so give me 1 second while I flip this down, and please continue to say hello and comment and, you know, tell me what you think of anything that I'm sharing. Okay, so just 1 second. There we go, and that's not too bad today. Worked out a little bit more smoothly than usual. We'll just shift this, and I know somebody will tell me if I'm off screen, so just let me know. Okay, so first let me tell you, I have a friend who I have known since I was probably in my early teens, and she has, even though she is not a stamper, so I don't think she's ever done anything with Stampin' Up, she is a total fan of snail mail and handwritten notes and letters. And so she has started this group. She had started it a few years ago, and every year around Valentine's, she gets all of us to send Galentine cards to each other. So we had a little blitz. I think there are 13 or 14 of us that are sending cards to each other all over the world. So there's some in London, England, and then there's some in New York, California, and then we've got a few all over Canada. So anyway, I just wanted to show you some of them. These are not Stampin' Up cards, but they're super cute. So this one here, Will You Brie My Valentine? I thought was really cute, and I love cheese, so that one just I loved. This is from my friend Fiza. And she had these cute little, they're called Thoughtfuls. I looked them up after. And they're these little fold up cards. So you actually open these up and you read the little messages. And so this one says, be weird, be random, be who you are. This one here says, you have infinite potential. You can do anything, make anything, dream anything. So they're just really cute quotes. If you could only sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet. So imagine getting this happy mail and then being able to open these little things. I want to order these actually and send them in my kids' lunches once they go back to school. You are the one and only you. And then lastly, you have powers you never dreamed of. So it was such happy mail. Like, it was a cute card with a cute message and then these lovely little messages to open up that just brightened my day. This is a friend of mine. Her name is also Zara, and she used to actually stamp with me but hasn't in a really long time, but she did make a handmade card. So you can see she did the little felt and then this die cut layer, and then she wrote a cute little message. And she actually said, hopefully once this is all over, we can meet up again and I can come stamp with you. So that was a really cute card. And then there's this little beauty here. This friend of mine from England, she actually included some facial care or skin care, which was awesome. And I love the lips all over it with the watercolor look. So it looks like these are pre-printed. And then this one here is this beautiful papyrus card. And it was a really lovely message in there from my friend Rishma. Now this one made me laugh. So my friend who actually coordinates this group, her name's Shazleen, so I don't know if she'll ever watch this, but she and I, when we were younger, used to write letters to each other. And so she lived in, it wasn't Grimsby, but she lived kind of southern Ontario, close to Niagara, maybe past, somewhere around Niagara, I think. Anyway, we used to write notes to each other because at that time we didn't have cell phones or email or things like that. And then we used to write dirty jokes to each other. So it's just been this running thing for us. So the card says, "Made you look, made you stare, please take off your underwear." She wrote some other funny things in here and just hoped that my kids didn't open it because it's so, she said it was pervy. But anyway, so those are the cards that I've been getting in the mail, in addition to some hand-stamped cards, but I just wanted to share those with you because I thought that they were really cute. Can I make you lunch and send you a card, please? I for sure can send you a card, and I can order you lunch, okay, Aleem? I can order you through Uber Eats because I'm only making 3 lunches, no more, and but I'll be happy to send you some yummy food and a handmade card. So send me your address because I don't think I have your mailing address. Okay, really quickly, Celebration is ending in 18 days. So February 28th is the last day of Celebration. And what that means is that's the last opportunity where you can get some of these products for free. Okay, so I've been featuring some of these in my past videos. I love getting things for free. I've always been that way. So when Celebration comes around, I am all over it because I just, if I can get stamps and paper and things like that for free, just sign me up. So lots of different beautiful products in here. If you don't already have a catalog, let me know and I will pop these in the mail to you if you don't already have a demonstrator and you live in Canada. I do want to bring your attention to the last 2 pages of the Celebration brochure. We have a fantastic special right now. Whether you are a crafter and you want to stock up on supplies, or you are brand new to crafting and you want to basically build an essentials starter kit so you can get started with this, the starter kit is the best deal. So you get to choose $165 in product, and I can certainly help make recommendations. You pay only $135, no tax, no shipping. You're going to get an all-inclusive little paper pumpkin kit, and you're also going to get 5 packages of this paper. So this pattern paper that you see in my hands here, you will actually get this for free with your starter kit. So it's a really good pack of paper to help you get started with your paper crafting. And the value of this paper is $80. You're getting it for free. So the total value is about $335 worth of product that you're getting for $135, no tax, no shipping if you're in Ontario, okay? The other 2 things I want to share with you is that I am part of these tutorial bundle groups. And if you place an order with me that's $50 or more, you're going to get this tutorial bundle for free. And it has 12 different video tutorials featuring different projects using a suite in the catalog. So for this month, for February, we are featuring the Love You Always suite. The other thing that I really want to quickly share with you is the Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chick bundles. So these are exclusive. They're not in our catalogs, but I do love them both. And if you want to order them, you can definitely do that right now. I will post a link to my online store and you can check them out, but they're super cute and they have matching dies. Okay, I feel like I've talked for long enough, so let's get started with some crafting. So if you want to follow along in the catalog, the card that I'm going to be making today is using the Kangaroo Company stamp set and coordinating dies, okay? So these are super cute. If you don't already have them, you may not know that the dies will actually cut a little pouch so that you can put any of these extra little die cuts or stamps into the little pouch. So I'll show you how that works. This is the card that actually was my inspiration today. So we'll go through and I'll walk you through how I made the card. This stamp set has 20 photopolymer stamps with all sorts of different sentiments. So there's happy for you, it's your day, love you much, just a note, just for you, hello, thanks a bunch, hello baby, and hopping by just to say hi. So really versatile set of sentiments and then images. There's got a mama kangaroo and then a little baby. So it's a really, really cute stamp set. So let me show you the card that I'm going to be making. This is the version of it from the catalog, okay? So when you look at it here, I've made a couple of minor tweaks to it, but essentially it's the same card as the one in the catalog. And what I meant when I told you that it has a little slit that you can actually insert things into. So the die cut will actually cut that little slit there, and you can just insert whatever you want into there, okay? So that's the card that we're going to be making. I made a couple of variations on my version, and I will walk you through it and kind of share what I've used and what I've done. So we're starting with a petal pink card base. I love pink, so anytime that I can incorporate that into my card, I will totally do that. This is cut in a top fold direction, so it's 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and it's scored at 5 1/2 inches. And I'm just using my bone folder to burnish that fold. And then I've got a piece of the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is in our annual catalog, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4, and I have used the Stitched with Whimsy dies to create this fun little whimsical stitched border. I've used these a few times now. I love them. So they don't actually cut right through your paper, but they just create this fun little whimsical border. So that wasn't something that I did on my first card, but I thought of it after I did my sample and decided to use it here. So if you don't already have these Stitched with Whimsy dies, you're going to want them in your collection. All right, so next we're going to do some stamping and some die cutting, okay? So this is the part that will take probably the longest, and we can just hang out and chit chat while I am doing the stamping and the coloring. So I've got my stamps already mounted on the clear blocks, and you need Memento black ink, which, here we go. So you need the Memento black ink on your, to actually stamp the images. And then I'm actually gonna do this cute little guy here. Okay, so we're gonna ink this up, and this is just the Mama Kangaroo, and I'm using Memento. You could use other colors, but if you're going to be coloring in with Stampin' Blends, you're definitely going to want to use Memento Black, okay? So we're just going to, I'm going to grab my foam mat. So when you're using photopolymer, you definitely want a surface to stamp on, because otherwise you don't always get even pressure. So I'm pressing down. Barb, it's so cute. Hello, Barb. It's such a cute stamp set, and I love all the little stamps in it and the different things that you can do with it. I'm going to take this off for a second and find my other scrap here, and we're going to stamp the little baby kangaroo that's actually going to go in the mama's pouch. So with my original card, I did the hearts. So I just stamped the little arrangement or bouquet of hearts and attached it to this little tab here. So it's 2 separate pieces, and then you can just attach different things to it. But because I'm making this for my friend who is whose son is going to be having surgery, I thought that the little baby kangaroo would be appropriate. So let's do some coloring. So I'm going to color both the mama and baby in crumb cake. So I'm starting with my dark crumb cake, and I hope you guys don't mind hanging out with me while I'm doing the coloring here. So I'm just going to take my dark crumb cake, and I'm just kind of going along the outline here. It always makes this kind of squeaky noise. I thought about coloring this in advance, but because I've done some of the other steps in advance, I felt like this would be too short of a crafting session, and then, you know, we would just be getting into it and then the card would be done. So I decided to do all the stamping and coloring with you guys. So now I'm going to take my light crumb cake, and the area where there's kind of a large area to color, I'm using my brush tip just to fill in some of the spaces, and then I'm going to go in with my bullet tip to do some of the blending here, okay? So I'm just going back over Still using the same light crumb cake, and I'm just kind of blending that in. So I always say this when I'm using the blends, I'm not anything fancy when it comes to coloring. I just follow the lines of the image, and then I use my light and dark to just do some blending and create a little bit of dimension. But there's really not too much to it. I feel like it makes me look like I'm a pro at coloring, which I'm not. But they're pretty foolproof. It's hard to kind of mess it up. And because they're alcohol based, you can keep going over the same spot over and over again, and it won't pill your paper the way it would if you were using, for example, like Crayola markers or any other kind of markers. So it's good this way because you can keep going over it, which increases the blended look and just gives it a little bit of depth. Hello, Denise Willerton. How are you, my friend? Are you experiencing all the cold right now? Is it really cold in Winnipeg? I can barely keep track of our weather here, so I'm not keeping track of everybody else's in other provinces, but I know it's pretty cold on the West Coast. So freezing. Okay, tell us what temperature it is. I'm scared to ask. I haven't been out because I am not a fan of the cold. And I had mentioned earlier that I really hurt my neck badly today, and I find when it's cold, I tense up even more, and so that just wouldn't be good for my neck. Okay, so this one's done. And then let's go in and do the little one here. And then that's all there is for the coloring, okay? I promise. There's not a whole lot more. Let's do this here, and then we'll just color this in. Aren't they so cute? And then you can go in with, I'm going to go in with the Petal Pink blend to just add a little bit of color to their cheeks. But you really don't, you could just do all of these with just the crumb cake blends. You don't really need a whole selection of markers to use with this. Unless you want to do different colored kangaroos, which you can. This little Joey, right? That's a baby kangaroo. Okay. Oh my goodness. Minus 26. Wow. Okay, it's definitely not that cold here. I think it's like minus 12 or 13, and it feels like minus 19, but my goodness. So I'm going to go in with my dark soft suede here, just to do the little nose here, and then we're going, not nose hair, nose here. I realized as I said it that might have come out sounding like nose hair. And then we're just going to do the ears, and then add a little bit of color to the cheeks. All right. Aren't they so cute? They're just adorable. Yeah, my neck. Okay, so Denise, I was just saying at the beginning that I was not paying attention to my posture this morning, and I was looking down. I think I can't even remember what I was doing, but I turned my neck, and then all of a sudden I tweaked it. So I have been, I've been using heat on it all day, and then I have a massager, like a shiatsu massager, and so I used that. So I've been trying, I've taken Advil, but it's super sore. I tried a hot shower this evening. So, okay, I'm taking out the dies that I need to cut out the kangaroo and the Joey. Okay, so let me turn this a little bit on an angle here. Yeah, this I feel for you. So are you spending a lot of time indoors then, Denise? I would assume so, right? Where are we going anyways? That's the one thing I'm finding about being home so much, is that normally at this time of year, we are, out at hockey and driving the kids to their programs and stuff. And so I am, in some ways, kind of grateful that we don't have to be out in the cold too much. But then, we're cooped up all the time. So that has its own share of disadvantages. I'm going to grab my Post-it tape because these will for sure move on me. All right, let me put this down here, and then a tiny little piece. So a few people were asking where I got the Post-it tape from. So this green one that I'm using, I got as a gift from a friend, but I recently noticed that they had it on Amazon. It's by the company Post-it, or 3M, and it's called labeling tape, removable labeling tape. So if you just look for Post-it tape, I think you'll be able to find it. And I ordered some off of Amazon because I've been using it a lot with my dies, especially right now because we don't have a magnetic platform. And so this Post-it tape is really helpful. Okay, so, and it's removable, so it's not going to tear my paper. It's literally like a Post-it. Okay, so that's the mama. And then here we have the little Joey. Aren't they just so adorable? So cute. Okay, and I had talked earlier about how the die actually cuts a slit. So you can see that there's already an opening here for the pouch. So I don't have to actually go in with an X-Acto knife or anything like that. And I can just glue this little guy onto the tab. So the tab I had cut out in advance. It's also using a die from the set. And I'm just going to, whoops, put that down like so. And then I do want to stamp a little hello. So this is for my friend. There's not really a sentiment in here that says thinking of you, which I don't know that I need to send that anyway, just a little note to brighten her day. So I'm just going to put the little hello, and it's really tiny, so it'll fit on this tiny little tab here. Let me just move this stamp off of here and grab the hello. So I'm going to stamp this in a different color. I think I'm going to stamp this in Calypso Coral. Hello, Beth. Don't be sorry. I know you were busy getting your craft on. So I am just going to use the Calypso Coral here, and just to add a little, you know, bright pop of color there. Speaking of pops of color, I have to show you another card that I made this morning. So I will post a picture of it on my Facebook page. This is actually what I was doing this morning when I hurt my neck. I was finishing a card that I had started last night, and then that's when I tweaked it. But okay, the next thing I'm going to use is this stamp here is from Forever Fern. Okay, so I've added some little fern die cuts. I've already stamped and cut these out. So this is using the Forever Fern stamp set, and then the coordinating dies called Forever Flourishing dies. Okay, so there's a coordinating die set. When the annual catalog came out, I was instantly in love with this bundle. It was actually my most favorite. And then, you know, the holiday catalog came along, and then the mini catalog came along. So I haven't been really giving this a lot of love. But when I saw it on the sample in the catalog, I thought, I need to use this. So there's this fun little splatter, which a lot of it will get covered with my little kangaroo. That just adds a bit of interest so that it's not too stark. There we go. Okay, so that's it for that. And then I'm going to show you when you want to put your kangaroo onto, stick it down to whatever you're sticking it to. You want to be sure to place your dimensionals carefully, okay? And what I mean by that is, so we want this little guy in here, and so I want to make sure that I'm not placing any dimensionals here, because otherwise it won't move on the card, okay? So when you're placing your dimensionals, I'm just using minis, and I'm just popping them around where the little tab is going to go. Okay, so you want enough dimensionals that it's nice and even and it's not kind of sinking anywhere, but then you want to make sure that you're not affixing it to the tab that's going to go in and out, okay? So it's always helpful to do it from the back of the actual kangaroo and then put the dimensionals on there. So this way, this guy still moves up and down, okay? So that's that, and our kangaroo there is done. And now I'm going to put some adhesive on the back here. I'm just using my Seal Plus, and I'm going to just stick on the greenery. So on the sample in the catalog, they actually had cut out a circle from the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, which is gorgeous. I just felt like there was a lot going on there and decided not to do that. So, you know what I forgot? Oh my goodness. Oh dear, I forgot my ribbon. Let's see. I'm really hoping this works out because the ribbon is kind of key to the card, and it's actually working. So pretend you didn't see that, although it's on video now, so you sure did. Okay, but no harm done. The kangaroos are okay. So I'm going to put my ribbon down, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to put a couple of strips of my Seal Plus, and I'm going to create a faux bow with this, okay? So I've got my Seal Plus here, and then I'm just creating a loop here. Okay, so I'm going to go across the middle, and then I'm going back up like this. You don't want it too big. There's probably a more kind of clean way to do this, but we're just going to roll with it because some of it's going to get covered in the middle anyways. And then you're just going to grab your scissors and trim that, okay? So now we're probably going to need to put on some more mini dimensionals because I botched that first one. And they'll still stick. I think that they're still going to stick, but let's see. Maybe one on his tail. The minis are small enough that we can put them in a lot of different spots on here. Okay, so now let's lift that up a little bit and stick that down. So see, that bow was necessary. We needed to undo that because I feel like that adds a lot to the card. So I'm just going to trim these a little more, and we can continue assembling our card. Okay, so next I'm going to take the Designer Series paper, and I used the light wood grain from the In Good Taste. I love this one. And actually we have a new suite of products coming out. So if you are a demonstrator, you might have already ordered the Butterfly Bouquet. Is that what it's called? Butterfly Bouquet. And there's this gorgeous kind of light wood grain specialty paper that's included in that suite. And so I just ordered that. That should be coming tomorrow. And then I'm going to go in with my Seal Plus. This is not always easy to do when you've already got some bulk on the front of your card, but it seems to work okay. And I'm just going to move that over a little bit like that. There we go. Did any of you watch my Facebook Live this weekend with my husband? I had a special guest. So Raheem has done some stamping with me in the past, and I got a couple of messages from some friends saying that we were overdue and that he needed to join me for another one. So I didn't really prepare him for what we were going to be making, and I didn't prepare him for the stories that I was going to be sharing, but he was a little bit embarrassed. So if you haven't yet seen it, I don't think it was that embarrassing of a story, to be honest, but he was like, "Did you really need to share that?" Because I just talk nonstop. Yes, I did. So he was, oh, thank you, Denise. He was a good sport about it, but he was like, "You know what, next time you better prep me for what stories you're going to be sharing." Sorry, I should tell you what I'm doing. In this stamp set, there is a sentiment that says hopping by just to say hi. So I had already heat embossed that, and I'm taking out the hi. Okay, so it's going to say hopping by just to say, and then you pull this out. I really messed this up. Okay, this is not supposed to go here. So see, I'm learning as I go, and you can learn from my mistakes. I put a dimensional on the little Joey by accident, so you don't want to do that. So hopping by just to say hello. Isn't that adorable? I just think this is so adorable. And I can't take credit for it because as I mentioned, I'm casing it from the catalog. No, not at all, Denise. He loved it. It actually made him more comfortable. You know what? For those of you that do Facebook Lives, you know, it can be nerve-wracking because even though I'm reading your comments and stuff, the reality is I'm sitting in my basement talking, and I'm the only one talking to myself. So, or I'm talking to you guys, but I look like I'm talking to myself. So it can be a bit nerve-wracking. So when you have people engaging and, you know, saying things to you, even if it's just, you know, whatever, I know for me personally, it puts me so much more at ease. So not at all. Don't stop talking. It really, it makes it really much more comfortable for me. Okay, so here we go. Most of the card is done. What do you guys think of this so far? I'm sorry, but I think it's really adorable. And I hope that my friend really likes it too, and that it brings a little sunshine to her day. So I'm going to actually pop this in the mail for her. She doesn't live too far, but I think it's always nice to get stuff in the mail. So now I'm going to go in with I'm using the Flowers for Every Season gems. And I'm going to start with 3 and then see where we go and if we need more. So I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. And I'm using this one has clear and then it's got some green ones in it. So I'm using the green to coordinate with the little fern, the fern elements on the card. And let's see here. This one does not want to flip over. There we go. Do you think it needs more? I think that's probably good. I want to add a little dab of liquid glue right here so that it sticks down. Although that dab was a little too much. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Heather. Okay, that was a little too much. So we're gonna wipe some of that off. On my first card, I popped the stitch circle up on dimensionals, but then the kangaroo was on dimensionals and it was too much popping up of everything. So this is the card, and this is my original sample. And again, when I say original, I cased it from the catalog. Some of the things that I changed on this one is, like I mentioned, I used the Stitched with Whimsy dies. And then when you look at, and then I also added the little paint splatter effect on here. So not a huge difference. And then when you look at the one in the catalog, they've actually cut out the designer series paper. I'll show you that one again. It's a bit hard to see, the sample is small, but here they've actually used the designer series paper to cut out with the stitch circle, and then they used the ornate ribbon for the faux bow. And I just wanted to add in some yellow, so I just felt like it was a very happy card, and so that's the one I did. Okay, do you guys want to see the card that I made this morning, the one that caused me to tweak my neck? So it's punchy, it's different. And so where it came from was I had seen a card on, was it on Instagram? I'll have to find her name. I'll tag her in my post. So she had this really cool card where she had just used strips of cardstock and then cut out a heart from a layer on top. And then she used silver glimmer paper, or it looked like silver glimmer paper, for her sentiment, but we don't have that anymore. So this is my card here. And I really wasn't creating it for any particular reason. It was just kind of fun. I wanted to see how it turned out. And the colors were inspired by a card that I had done a couple of weeks ago using the Pretty Perennials set. And I used the Playful Alphabet dies to do the Love You, and I popped them up on the foam adhesive strip. So it's it's a very clean but bright and lots of, straight lines on the card. So very kind of modern look. And I contemplated using the black matte dots on it, but I just felt like it needed some bling. There's a lot of black already happening. So anyway, that's the card that actually caused me to hurt my neck this morning, because I was working on it, and I think as I was trying to line up the strips, I was just maybe looking down for too long, but I'm still happy with how it turned out. So anyway, I am probably, I've exhausted my welcome here. I've talked for a really long time tonight, but I just wanted to say thanks to all of you for joining me this evening. And if you're watching the replay, please do say hello and let me know you're watching. I always love to hear what you think. If you have suggestions or ideas for things I could have done differently to the card, or if you have certain techniques or products you want to see in future videos, that is always helpful to me because I'm often racking my brain the day before trying to think of what I'm going to design or create. So would love to hear from you. I hope that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and stay safe. And I will see you guys here Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for coffee and a card. Have a good night, everybody. Bye for now.